I am Mark Ramsey, and I'm talking to the fabulous Bill Weston, Program Director of the equally fabulous, if not slightly more fabulous, Bill, with all due respect, WMMR in Philadelphia, which I am very proud to say is a client. Thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah. Well, things are good. We're in good shape, you know, due to this fabulous direction and my consigliere that I have. So, yeah, things are good at WMMR.
All right, enough with the backslapping. Bill, the reason why we're talking today is because you said something to me recently which I thought was so utterly fascinating. You have a guy, you know, most stations, as we all know, do cyber jockeying overnight, voice tracking overnight. They've got a voice overnight and it doesn't really matter. Maybe there's no voice overnight, right?
Yeah.
You guys have a different strategy. Can you talk about what that is?
Yeah, I'm so lucky. I'm so fortunate that we actually have a live, breathing human being in the chair in the studio on our overnight. We have a full-time overnight disc jockey by the name of Jackie Bam Bam. And Jackie is, he lives it, he breathes it. It's not like he's banished to the overnights waiting for his chance to do afternoon drive. He loves that shift, so much to the point that when our 7 to midnight guy is out on vacation and I want to move Jackie up into 7 to midnight, he really wants to stay and to do his overnight shift. His audience is so loyal. He's created this third shift group of listeners. He calls them the vampires. And that they will meet him at gigs or appearances that he does, and they'll print up T-shirts for Jackie because they feel that I don't know, the sense of belonging that he gives them. You know, that they're part of this group that he's in the middle of.
So it's funny because, you know, the average station, even lots of not so average stations, kind of have this perception that the overnight thing is a throwaway. You know, it's obviously not in the ratings 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. It's this throwaway that doesn't really matter. Why is that not true?
Oh, boy. Well, if your radio station is preaching that you really care about your community and that you're really involved in the middle of your community and you're creating this mixture, this stew of music and personality and traffic and weather, and we're Acme Town's #1 station, except for you people that listen after midnight, except for you people that work at 7-Eleven on the third shift, except for you people that work at the warehouse on the overnight, then there is no exception. So it's a great thing because we can be consistent. Yes, the queue is much smaller and available there, but it allows us to be consistent in our message and not saying except, you know, for this group of people. I think that's important.
What do you say to those stations that say, well, MMR has tons of money, they can throw money away, we don't want to throw money away? I mean, you know that's going to be a very common thing that people say. What's the answer to that?
The answer is that you are investing in another talent. Maybe you're investing in your future afternoon drive star, your future morning star. I mean, the way it has been in the past certainly applies now. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to hire that person to fill in that position in a prime day part? You know who he is. He's trusted. And I would also offer up this example. If the morning show guy comes in at his typical time of 5:57 a.m. and discovers the automation system has crashed for the last 3 hours and is so far behind, he misses even 4 or 5 spots from 6 to 6:05, you know what? Maybe an overnight guy could have prevented that from happening, or he could have called engineering to make sure that it was all set to go at 6 a.m. We have 4 other stations in our cluster, and Jackie is the only live overnight person, but he also can be utilized to be a bit of a watchdog on some of those other radio stations if need be.
The other thing I would say is I guess you more than a lot of broadcasters recognize the immense value of talent in the equation, even for what is, I guess, still today known as especially a music station, right?
Personality is everything. If you're running 13 songs an hour and maybe 6 minutes of spots an hour on the overnight, you know what? You're not as good as Pandora, because Pandora is running 15 songs an hour with no spots, with the element of surprise. But the ability for a talent to make that connection, especially somebody who's maybe feeling isolated or unappreciated in a job where they go to work when it's dark and they go home when it's light. It's really powerful because those people have stories. They have people that they work with, and they tell the tale about why MMR has this guy who connects the dots between the music and between them and between their lifestyle and where they live.
Bill Weston is the incredible program director of the equally, if not slightly more incredible WMMR in Philadelphia. Bill, thank you so much for doing this, and thanks really for everything that you're doing in kind of weaving together the talent, the programming, and everything to make such a great legendary brand still as great today as ever. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Mark, it's been great. And thanks for busting my Skype cherry. It's been great.